Hey guys, Brandon here. So in this video I want to go over ball pythons and their egg boxes and how we set them up. It's nothing that's going to be revolutionary here, just the way that we do things, and I figure someone might come across the video and it'll help them out. So first and foremost, you want to be prepared, and part of that preparation lies in having a reliable thermostat as well as an incubator. All too often I see posts on Facebook that are asking if this little chicken egg incubator will work for ball python eggs. And the simple answer is, it probably won't. The temperatures are going to fluctuate too much and it's going to be unreliable, and your eggs will likely go bad. There are plenty of commercially available incubators out there. The Nature Spirit Incubator that Sal from Gomez Pythons uses is quite small, however obviously it would get the job done and it seems well built. I do plan on getting some of those in the future for some colubered eggs. You can also go with what seems to be a very popular option, and that is the C-Serpents. They make another nice incubator with a big open door, lights, fans, everything that you need, and a lot of people seem to have success with it. Presently, I have an animal plastics incubator, which I do like and I do plan on continuing to use. However, after this season, I do plan on picking up some C-Serpents, and I will be exclusively using the animal plastics one for the Burmese pythons, as it is a larger incubator and can fit larger boxes. So the benefit of purchasing one of these commercially available incubators is that after one clutch, more than likely it is going to pay for itself. And while there are some things I can be handy at, risking potentially losing clutches and losing hard work of raising these females up and feeding them and breeding them, etc., all to save a few bucks and try and put an incubator together myself really just isn't worth it. If you're handy, knock yourself out, but I don't trust myself enough to trust several clutches of eggs on my handiwork. So once you have the where they're going figured out, you're going to need supplies. And one of those supplies is a 6-quart container that you can get at the Container Store. So the reason why I get these is because they have a very wide square base, which works perfectly for these dragon hatch trays. They fit right in there very snugly after you get the substrate in there. So, aside from these dragon hatch trays, there are other options as well. A lot of people actually use these guys, a light diffuser. Either one works perfectly fine. You just want to be able to keep the eggs from the substrate. At least that's what I like to do. Speaking of substrate, I like to use perlite. There are plenty of other mediums you can use. Some people like to use vermiculite, and other people seem to like using cocoa blocks. For me, I used this last season when I had my first and only clutch of ball pythons, the double het sunset albinos, and it worked fine for me. And I'm of the mentality that if it is not broken, there's no need to fix it. He just could not stay out of the way, so he's joining us for the rest of the video, or at least until he decides he's over it. So for the next part, you want to take that 6-quart Sterilite tub and you want to put about an inch and a half or so worth of substrate in there. Now you're going to mix water over time until you get it to a somewhat clumpy consistency, but to where it's not dripping water. So now that you have your bin and your substrate together, you need to determine if your eggs can be pulling apart or you need to put them together in one giant clump. If they can be pulled apart, I would actually definitely use these dragon hatch trays. If they cannot, I would use the light diffuser. So last year, when I had my first clutch, I did not separate them. Mostly because I was a little scared and a little nervous and I didn't want to cause any problems. You know, you see plenty of people doing it and it seems like it's no big deal, but when you do it for the first time, it can be pretty stressful. This season, however, I have actually separated all of my eggs, and generally speaking, I think it's because if you find them soon enough, they come apart pretty easily. So once the box is set up and ready to go, I will pull the tub from the rack and get the female off of her eggs. Whenever I do this, I generally make sure that I can grab the upper portion of her body as well as maintain control of her tail, because I don't need the eggs coming with her when I pull her out and put her in a tub to soak her. So once she is off of the eggs, I will place her in a bin that she sits in and soaks for a little while, while I get her tub cleaned out as well as get the eggs set up. So now that I have the female off the eggs, I will attempt to take the eggs apart, put them in an egg box until I'm able to candle them. First I get them separated. Once I have all the eggs in the egg box, I shut off all of the lights and begin to candle the eggs. So for this, I usually just use my cell phone. I put the light behind the egg, looking for good veins, as well as the little jiggly part, which is the embryo. You want to have that on top. So once they're all set up, I take a minute to fill out the clutch card, and that's going to be where I put the year, the clutch number, as well as the sire or sires, and the mother to the clutch. Well, it looked like he had enough of that. So after I put the mother, father, and the clutch number, I also put the number of good eggs as well as the number of slugs. So now that candling is done and all of the eggs are embryo up inside of the bin, there is one final step to take, and that is to take press and seal to cover the top of the box, and that ensures you're keeping that heat and humidity in there. Just pop the lid on and now you're ready to go. So at this point, now the real wait begins. Ball python eggs generally take 55 days for the first heads start coming out, and that's when you're incubating them at 89 degrees. Hey Siri. What is 55 days from today?
It's Saturday, July 2nd, 2022.
I then take a card and I write that date on it, and I put that on the front of the card. That way when I open the incubator, I can see what day that prospective clutch is due to hatch and when I should be expecting to see heads coming out of the egg. Thanks for checking out the video. Do leave a comment if you do anything differently, as well as any ideas you would like to see in future videos. If you want to stay up to date with what is going on around here or what is available, links are in the description. Before you go, if you found this video valuable, I would appreciate it if you gave it a like, subscribe if you are not, and share it with a friend. Thanks again for watching.